Hi, welcome to Rule Yourself Radio. I decided to do something a little different today. It's been 3 years since I started recording my rational recovery journey with the BeSpeak blog. I reached 72 videos in that series, and I decided to branch out into all my applications of the AVR technique, including my housework and my diet, trying to lose weight. I've named that series Rule Yourself Radio. I'm going to review my BeSpeak blogs from starting with number 1, and I'm going to add context and new insights that I've learned through these 3 years since I've been using the AVR technique. My sons have helped me improve my editing skills, so this will be a little more visually appealing than just a static picture. So here we go. This video was entitled, Wait, Which Promise? Hi guys, this is my new weekly review series. I've named it the BeSpeak blogs. That's kind of hard to say, but basically what I want to do is every week go over what my beast has been saying to me and how I overcame it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the beast is essentially your addictive voice, which once recognized can help you disassociate from any unwanted urges you might have. Disassociation is key to AVRT. It's imperative that you don't associate yourself with the addictive voice. If you want to know more about rational recovery and AVRT, which is where these ideas come from, you can check out my other readings on my page. I'll link down in the description to Virginia's story. That's probably the best place to get started. So one of the things that Jack Trimpe likes to say is that your beast is a paraplegic. It can't move even the littlest of your fingers all by itself. It has to appeal to you to get what it wants. But let's say you have a lapse and give in to a demand. Sorry about all that pee popping. I had a really bad mic then. Is it possible to reel yourself back in after you've taken steps to get a fix? Well, the bottom line answer is that yes, we always have the power to stop. It's just more painful to stop once we have taken steps to secure the junk. Sometimes we've committed to a lapse and we start moving toward it, but until we've actually imbibed, we can rethink that decision and make another choice. This is because of the excitement and the relief, the feelings that kind of flow in us at the prospect of what's on the way. The pleasure has already begun to flow, so just the mere thought of the indulgence kind of has got you going. So here's what my beast said when I reversed course and changed my mind. I decided to keep my vow and I was resuming my commitment. And it says to me, but you said I could. But you said I could. Now, any parent knows that how gut-wrenching of an argument that is. You know, kids. Yeah, in fact, if we've ever been deprived as a child, the addictive voice takes advantage of that emotional memory and exploits it to get its own way. It literally uses your legitimate pain against you and against your own best interests just to exploit you and get its own way. Use that all the time. You don't want to deprive your child of something you promised it, and in a sense, that argument struck at the heart of me just like I was a child. And it actually cast kind of guilt on me. It demanded that I live up to my promise. So on the one hand, I had my vow of abstinence, and on the other hand, I had given the green light to a fix. So which of these two promises was I going to keep? The beast was essentially proposing that I didn't have the right to change my mind, that one promise was as good as the other, and which one did I want more at the moment? My beast would want me to ask myself that, right? Well, we all know what the beast was advocating, and at that moment it wasn't safe to ask my opinion because the beast had my judgment clouded and I was off balance. One of the most important things I've learned in the years practicing AVRT is what making a decision truly entails. Up until learning AVRT, commitment could always be recalculated based on my current emotions. In fact, I often made commitments just to get out of things in the moment, knowing full well as soon as the pressure was off, I'd go back to doing things as I always had. I was a liar. Now I trust myself, and that means the world. So, I stewed with that for a while, but then genius struck. I thought to myself, if I couldn't say no to my desire, That didn't mean I had to say yes. Did you hear how my voice went up when I said yes? I was scrambling for the pause button because someone just walked in through the screen door, which was super squeaky. And I didn't script things the first few vlogs, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to recreate what I had just said again, so I'd have to scrap the whole thing. I've actually become less brave since I started this, and I script everything now. I didn't think anyone would ever see these vlogs. So I'll say it again. Even though I couldn't say no to the desire, that didn't mean I had to say yes. So I just waited until more level heads prevailed. I waited it out. Rationally, I knew I didn't have to give in. Like, rationally, I knew what I really wanted, and the real me was to stay clean. But emotionally, the beast had me cornered. If the conclusion is you're going to use, you haven't finished deliberating yet. You're not even deliberating. The conclusion was made when you decided to quit. You're just observing the addictive voice until it quiets down, and it will. But I knew these feelings couldn't last forever, so I just waited and continued to ferret out all the pure beast speak. Like it said, I'm not waiting. False, I am going to wait. I'm perfectly capable of waiting. And then it would say things like, we'll see, doing anything to keep that door open, not wanting me to ever foreclose on its idea of indulgence. But I know Jack says you're not supposed to argue with the addictive voice, but I wasn't really arguing. I was standing my ground with the declarative statements. I'm capable of waiting. Guess what? I prevailed. So when you can't say no, don't say yes. Just wait it out. Okay, guys, so that was my first and basically a diary entry talking about what the addictive voice was saying to me and how I overcame it. Join me again for number 2. I'll get to that as soon as I can. I'm trying to be more consistent with you guys so you can look forward to seeing these. It's not called Beast Speak anymore. It's called Rule Yourself Radio. Thank you. Bye-bye.